Antonio something, some Greek name, I cannot pronounce his name. What they tell you, he is commenting on the critics Bitcoin. What they tell you, they are worried. They are very worried. They are worried. They say they're worried that criminals will use Bitcoin. Sebenarnya, the truth is that they are far more terrified the rest of us will. Itu sebenarnya yang untuk kritik Bitcoin. All the bankers, all the stockbrokers, apa-apa semua, they're so against Bitcoin because they takut you and I ambil duit kita tu berinteraksi Bitcoin, tak beli produk mereka. That's why they're so against Bitcoin. Okay. Okay, moving on, halving. Just information saja. Reward mining, ganjaran mining dibahagi bagi dua setiap 210,000 blocks. Bermula 50 Bitcoin, kemudian bagi dua 25 Bitcoin, 12.5 Bitcoin, and sekarang 6.25 Bitcoin. Ini bermula pada bulan Mei, the third halving. First halving November 2012, second halving Julai 2016, third halving Mei 12 Mei 2020. Okay, this start very interesting. Okay, this is first of all, this is a log scale. Ini $1, $10, $100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. The line here, the halving. Ini halving pertama, berlaku pada November 2012. Line ini halving kedua, 2016, Julai. Ini halving ketiga pada bulan Mei. Sebab chart ni di prepare sebelum the third halving, that's why dia terpenti kat sini. Okay. So, ganjaran pertama, macam saya cakap tadi, 50 Bitcoin. Selepas bulan 11, 2012, 25 ganjarannya jatuh 25 Bitcoin. Selepas bulan 7 2016 ganjarannya 12.5. Dan selepas Mei ganjarannya 6.25 Bitcoin. Now look at the rise of Bitcoin. This is a log scale. Basically, saya buat statement ni dulu. After that you can see the next slide. Tapi basically halvingnya di sini ya, di sini. Basically, 1 year before, the price about $10. I'm sorry, this is about, I think about $3 or something, $3 something. So at the halving point, it was $10. Then it went up to $1,000 dalam masa setahun. First halving. Second halving, price dia lebih kurang $300. Masa halving tu about $900. 1 year later, naik as high as $20,000. Then jatuh balik lah. Third halving bulan Mei, before this price was about $3,000, masa halving tu about $9,000. Sekarang ni coming up to 7-8 months, about $35,000 lah. So, okay. Rekod pulangannya. First halving First halving pada 3 Januari 2011, pada bulan 11 tu dia jadi $10. Kemudian naik meroket kepada $1,000 pada 2013, 1.5 years lah. So basically dia naik 220% setahun before the halving dan kemudian meroket 10,000% within 1 year selepas halving. Ini halving yang pertama. Halving yang kedua, nilai dia $300 bulan Januari 2015 ke $900 pada halving yang kedua bulan Julai tu. Kemudian naik ke $20,000 pada Disember 2017. So dia naik 200% setahun before the halving dan kemudiannya meroket 1,800% dalam masa 1.5 tahun kemudian selepas second halving. Third halving bulan Januari $3,000 pada masa halving bulan Mei, $9,000, dan mungkinkah dia naik ke $90,000 pada Disember ujung tahun ini, Disember 2021. So dia naik 200% 1 year before the halving. Boleh tak dia naik 1000% within 2 years after the halving? Remember, sebelum ni first halving dia naik 10,000%, second halving 1,800%, third halving takkan tak boleh naik kot 1000%. So itu the history, sejarah, ikut sejarah. Ini another interesting point. Ini adalah Bitcoin hash ribbons indicator, buying indicator. Semasa chart ini prepare, the hash ribbons indicator, buying indicator telah berlaku 9 kali sebelumnya. When the indicator say buy, so tengok. Basically, the first signal came bulan Januari 2019, okay, naik by 283%. Second signal 300%, 3000%. So but basically 9, the buying indicator, hash ribbons buying indicator telah berlaku 9 kali. Average increase was 5,500%. Dan pada tahun 2020, the hash indicator telah berlaku 3 kali. 3 kali. So in other, once the buying indicator berlaku, nilai Bitcoin akan naik lah. Dan bukan naik 10-20%. We're talking average 5,000%. Tak payah, malah tak payah 5,000%. Dia naik 500% pun dah kira terror sangat lah. So this is another sign. The last hash ribbons indicator berlaku pada bulan Disember, bulan lepas saja. So another sign. Okay. Mengapa Bitcoin meroket pada tahun 2020? Halving ketiga pada bulan Mei. This one mengikut sejarah lah. So apa yang telah berlaku sebelum ini is repeating. Dia bukan exactly, bukan mirror image, tapi echo lah. Very, very similar. Not exactly, tapi very, very similar ya. Very, very similar. So telah berlaku halving pertama, halving kedua, sekarang halving ketiga. Of course, penambahan jumlah pelabur institution. Dahulunya, basically all retail investors, you and me lah. Ahmad, Asing, Mutu, James, apa-apa semua, retail investors. The last few years, the institution investors are coming in. I will tell you why, kenapa shortly. Of course, PayPal started accepting Bitcoin, I think in October or November 2020, they started accepting Bitcoin. You boleh beli Bitcoin, boleh jual Bitcoin, boleh menggunakan Bitcoin untuk beli barang. PayPal is the second largest financial institution di Amerika Syarikat. The second largest. PayPal is bigger than Bank of America, bigger than Citigroup. Only second to Jamie Dimon punya bank. I forgot the name. Okay, what is? Let me check. JP Morgan is the biggest. PayPal is the second biggest. Second biggest. So this is a big thing. Then of course, money printing oleh kerajaan related kegoncangan ekonomi dunia oleh kerana COVID-19 lah. This money printing oleh kerajaan ni, dia printed so much money, terutamanya kerajaan Amerika Syarikat, and they will continue to do so. Oleh kerana they want to do so to save the economy lah, to save the economy. Ini companies that hold more than 10,000 Bitcoin, more than 10,000. Tengok. This is Grayscale. Grayscale is a share. Basically, nak bagi senang faham, they invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. They invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can buy shares in that. They hold what, 570,000 plus Grayscale. Pada bulan Julai 2020, jumlah Bitcoin dia 160,000. By December dia dah 570,000. 570,000. So dalam masa 6 bulan they've increased by 400% jumlah Bitcoin. Basically they bought almost all the new Bitcoin from the miners tu. Itu Grayscale, MicroStrategy has 70,000 coin shares and all. And they will continue to buy more. Okay, continue to buy. So institution, pelabur institution ni dia tak beli RM1,000, RM10,000, $10,000. Dia orang main million. Main million. 570,000 ni the value is I think 22 billion. 22 billion. Yeah. 22 billion. Let me check. Okay. Yep. 500 value is 22 billion. Even MicroStrategy ni, MicroStrategy 70,000 is worth 2.6 billion. 2.6 billion. Okay. Kenapa dia tak nak jalan? Oh, okay. Okay, mengapa pelabur institution ni suddenly memilih Bitcoin? Dulu dia orang anti sangat, sekarang dia pilih Bitcoin. Very simple answer. Money, duit. Their client demands Bitcoin. Mereka berniaga. Their client want to buy Bitcoin. Kalau dia tak supply Bitcoin, their client will go to another party who can provide Bitcoin. That is why PayPal bukan suddenly, dia mesti buat research. Yang dulu against Bitcoin, sekarang dia allow people to buy and sell Bitcoin. Because their client demands it. Because dia berniaga. If your client want that product, you provide that product. Of course, Bitcoin is sexy and hip. Bitcoin, digital. Latest technology, blockchain. It is the latest buzzword. Is sexy and hip. Okay, not old technology. Of course, Bitcoin is proven kenaikan 400% pada 2020. Last year alone, rise Bitcoin 400%. Pada bulan Januari last year, price 3,000 Bitcoin. I'm sorry, $3,000. By December, basically $30,000. $30,000. So rise 400% 2020, and this will continue. Of course, pelabur institution ni, there are other assets you can consider, but kekurangan aset alternatif yang berpotensi. Stock market memang high, tapi it's all inflated. I call this, they are on steroids. Steroids, money printed by the government, free money. And it cannot continue. It cannot continue. It cannot continue. Itu stock market. Bonds, so I think issued by the companies, question mark. So alternative dia yang boleh memberikan pulangan yang bagus tu very few. That's why they're turning into Bitcoin dan cryptocurrency. Dan of course, they are worried by the money printing exercise by the governments, and of course it will lead to inflation and hyperinflation. Saya tak kata benda ni will definitely happen, tetapi possibility dia tu is there. This money printing exercise, the worst thing can happen, it will lead to hyperinflation. Actually dah berlaku, dah sikit ni inflation ni. US dollar setahun yang lalu, 2 tahun yang lalu, $1 4.3 ringgit. $1 4.3 ringgit setahun yang lepas. Sekarang $1 4 ringgit. So the value of US dollar dah jatuh dah. Ini bukan ringgit strengthening. Tak ada, there is no reason why the ringgit should strengthen. Tapi the value of the US dollar has dropped because of the main reason, because this money printing lah. I'm not surprised. Setahun daripada sekarang, $1 3.5 ringgit saja. Okay, now let's get to the main action. Strategi pelaburan Bitcoin untuk you and me, untuk anda, kita semua. Yang ni yang penting ni. Ini yang penting ni. Excuse me, saya take a sip of water. Oh. Okay. Kalau anda nak beli, you can consider untuk menambah pelaburan anda. Bersyarat, satu, dana reserve dah ada. Dana reserve ni sekurang-kurangnya 3 bulan perbelanjaan. Dah ada, dah set aside dana reserve ni. Dan keadaan situasi kewangan anda juga stabil. Baru boleh beli Bitcoin ni. Kalau you nak kena beli duit susu anak tu, tak payah beli Bitcoin lah kan. Dalam kata lain, your financial situation is stabil. Dana reserve dah ada dan duit apa makan minum apa semua dah okey. Then you can consider untuk menambah pelaburan anda. Whatever the price now, pejam mata. Whatever the price now, $35,000, it will be a lot higher in the coming days. At the same time, dia bukan naik aja, it doesn't work like that. Dia pelaburan, so dia naik turun. Dan macam saya cakap tadi, Bitcoin naik turun 5 ataupun 10% dalam sehari is not unusual. Dia tak berlaku tiap-tiap hari, tetapi not unusual, boleh berlaku. Malah lately ni, itu I think last week 40,000, hari ni 35,000. Imagine you beli at 40,000, now 35,000, you lose $5,000 already. I'm expecting a major correction akan berlaku. In fact, I think it is already happening now because saya prepare slide ni was 2 weeks ago. So I'm expecting a major correction. $40,000, 35, maybe even to $30,000. In fact, I think sekarang the correction is happening as we speak. Correction. Tetapi once the correction is done, dia akan naik balik. It will continue the climb balik. Okay. So I'm expecting $50,000, and at that time you may want to sell 20% of your stock holding. Stock holding itu Bitcoin lah kan. Then apa, dia akan terus naik lagi pada hujung tahun ni mencapai $100,000, jual another 20%. So anda mungkin bertanya, Azizi, kenapa you suruh jual kalau Bitcoin ni asyik naik daripada 50,000 jadi 100,000, kalau saya jual 20% rugi lah. Okey, ini jawapan dia. Ini jawapannya, tuan-tuan. We are human beings. We are not prophets. We don't know exactly apa yang akan berlaku di masa depan. We have an idea based on our research, based on our study, based on our experience. Dan of course, orang yang lebih bijak pandai pada kita jugalah. So we have a good idea apa yang mungkin berlaku. Tapi we cannot kata for certain, it will definitely happen. It can happen, but it may not happen. So oleh sebab itulah, saya suggest anda apabila nilai dia naik dalam RM50,000 tu, you sell about 20%. The reason for doing this is that you capture actual profits. By the way, ini saya bukan bersyarah saja. Saya akan buat sendiri, tuan-tuan. Saya akan buat sendiri. So, naik about $50,000 tu, you sell 20%. So, you capture actual profits. So, kalau dia naik lagi, remember you still have 80% untuk menikmati the rise. Tapi kalau dia tak naik, at least you have already some profits in your pocket. Dan apabila dia mencapai close to 100,000, you sell another 20%. Again, the reason you capture actual profits. Kalau dia naik lagi, you still have 60% of your Bitcoin left over. So you capture actual profit dan dalam masa sama, you still have enough Bitcoin. Tapi of course, dia tak akan naik sampai forever and ever. Dia akan turun juga. Bersedia untuk menjual majoriti sebelum bulan Disember because I am expecting kemungkinan serious drop bermula Januari 2020. Dan setahun pada sekarang, katalah dia naik 100,000, 150,000. I'm expecting a major correction. Major correction, I'm talking 70-80% drop pada tahun depan. Because ini telah berlaku sebelum ini. Bukan berlaku sekali. Berlaku 2-3 kali dah. Bear market, dia naik 20 sejarah, the last one, $20,000 in December 2017. 2018, 2019 drop as low as 3,500. So the drop was more than 80% from 20,000. So a similar story akan berlaku saya rasa tahun 2022.